anyway, I'm always totally in sports. My dad was a very, very, very good low handicapper, golfer. We always tinkered around. He was a fine tool and die maker, and that's where I got a lot of my ability to use certain tools, and I guess you'd call it my eye. It was from him, and I used to collect a lot of wedges. That just started to be my little, it sort of got to be probably call it a hobby and a passion. And I played, but you know, I always thought at that particular time golf asked for women and old men. I said, I want to play. I'm going to play. I was a hockey player. I got no teeth. You know, it's all. And grew up in Canada. I loved it. I loved the sport. I loved being involved. And then I could play baseball, football. Steve was telling me I was professional football. Yeah, but he didn't tell you I was a punter. So I mean, I had the best seat in the stadium. And being a Canadian, all Americans are on the team. I used to get two free passes from each guy because they didn't know anybody. So I had all my own crew come and watch me play. So I had my own cheering section. That was a long time ago, and I hate to use the year, but that was back in 1964. So I know I shouldn't have said that. It gives you an idea that I've been around for quite a long while. And I was very fortunate. I came back, and all of a sudden I thought I could play golf. That got to be the next sport after I got my knees operated on. That's the only sport I could play. So I thought I could play. And I turned around and started playing a couple local tournaments, and I realized that 72 with about 25 putts, they couldn't catch it, you know, on a good day. So then I started to learn about golf clubs. I always had that little knack. You know, I started basically in my garage with my dad, and then of course I moved down here. Next thing you know, I went to work at a golf shop, and I started to learn a little bit. And the original reason for coming down here, all kidding aside, was there was a French-Canadian girl that I was, you know, she moved down here, so I sort of came down here. I just never went back to Canada. But that was my days, and I was in my 20s, early 20s. But anyway, I evolved from there, and I went to work TaylorMade. I used to do TaylorMade repair work back in the 80s. So early 80s, I was doing that, and then they came to me when they moved to the West Coast, set up shop. They asked me could I come to work, like to work for TaylorMade. I said, yeah, I'll keep my shop going. So meanwhile, I said, fine. Next thing you know, Lee Trevino came on board with TaylorMade. So I was there immediately. Had a great relationship right off the bat. In fact, we weren't set up at TaylorMade, and he used to come into my golf shop. Wasn't too far from TaylorMade in Vista, California at that time. And we turned around and we'd be welding and grinding and all, and it was a lot of his wedges. He was a great love, unbelievable. I learned a lot from him, and hopefully I showed him a few things, but I didn't specialize in wedges at that particular time, but we just did it. And I'll never forget, sometimes in the shop, Lee would be behind the counter, and you know, and then some guys would come into my shop and say, is that? And I said, hey, I'm just your local Mexican. He'd break me back. I'd say to be yelling back at me, you know, I just helped you, Bob, you know, and it was really cool. So, it was funny.
2009, just a quick little tidbit. We estimate there's about 1,500 worldwide exempt tour players on some tour. And that about 40% of them play Vokey wedges. So, it's 10 years worth of 600 players.
Having to convert in about 6 months.
Some of these guys have that.
I had a crew at that particular time when we decided on, well, first off, I had about 15, 16 different combinations of grooves that I wanted to try. So we tested them. I remember 2008 it would have been, and yeah, back in 2008, early 2009, a lot of players come to the test center. I was hitting them, and I can tell you the comments when they first started hitting, going from the spin mill to the condition to competition grooves. I mean, a lot of the words are not good for publication. It boiled down to, Voke, you can do better than that. I said, look, USGA has really done a heck of a job. They've done their homework. And this is what they want. But it's funny. All those players that I had to convert, and it wasn't so much the conversion of them into their existing models that they had we started out with, but it was after they had their existing models, the changes that they wanted to make. Different bounce changes, different model changes. I got to be where all I was doing was I had to work with the players. All the shots that used to require spin, I had to turn around and fit them into the proper model and grind, which I had the ability to do, grind that they could hit those shots with more of a trajectory bias and let it roll out, as versus what they used to do before when they hit that low darter, you know, the wedges. I think it's the importance of them. Yeah. I got to where I think a driver and putters definitely important, but I think wedges is right up there with them. You know, because of all the delicate nature of the shots that you have to hit. There's such a multitude of shots. And I'm learning. I'm still learning today. You know, I was at Torrey Pines Monday, Tuesday, and there's certain things talking to players. And I'm learning all the time, even at my old age. You know, I'm learning all these different things, and I'll try, and I'll take the information. But they say, what's your R&D department? To me, I got the best R&D department in the world. I got the PGA Tour. I just listen to these guys, take notes, watch what they do, make a prototype, bring it back to them, let's hit it, and then that's the way it goes. And wedges to me were just so unique, uniqueness of them. I did irons, I designed irons, drivers, fairways, but I found the toughest club to do is a wedge. Because it's a type of wedge, it doesn't just sit in the square position. You take a two iron right all the way through pitching wedge, you're not really looking at it, but in the address position, you're seeing a lot of that wedge, all the way down from a 48 all the way to now 64. That wedge has to look good, not only in a square, leading position square, it's got to look good when you lay it open, you want to hit all those, like you heard me say many times, those little touchy-feely shots. You know, all those shots that require creativity. And that's what back in my mind, I've always tried to build into the wedges, along with what I was really thinking about, along with what I've got a very good club post staff. I see Jim Gormley out there, and guys like this, they'll tell me,